Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors.
Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time.
All right, thank y'all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Temple of Thoughts, Tizzo, a.k.a. the creature from the Black Lagoon. How y'all doing?
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Man, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do. Give us that, Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Right on, man. Well, my name's Temple of Thoughts. I go by a few aliases, but I'm just mainly out here representing this hip-hop culture, hip-hop music. Originally from California, but I came to Portland when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
Landed in the north. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Went to Woodlawn, Beach, Ockley Green, all that.
Okay.
Ended up on the west side. So when I really started getting into music,
mm-hmm.
I feel like it was in Hillsborough where I started getting my feet wet with the music,
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, where in California did you come from?
From Santana.
Okay, cool.
I was born over there,
Gotcha. I'm from the Bay Area originally myself.
Oh shit, yeah, area.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
But now let's go ahead and let's talk about what got you started into music initially.
Man, honestly, I guess the area where I live,
mm-hmm.
I said, I came at a very young age to Portland.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Growing up in my household was just Mexican music. We speak Spanish, we're Mexican. So when I finally got to Portland, though, and I started going to, elementary, ride the bus with different kids and stuff, it was back in the day with them big old CD players.
Mm-hmm.
Out, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Mid 90s, late 90s. So I remember all my friends, they had rap music,
mm-hmm.
and I never heard rap before. And I started listening to tapes, you know what I'm saying? And I liked that style of music, and it was kind of it felt like that's what our vibe was, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I started hanging out with a lot of neighborhood kids, and they put me up on the MBKs, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the All Eyes on Me album when it came out.
Yep.
That was actually my birthday gift when I was in second grade.
Oh, cool.
Went to the Lloyd Center, picked it up, you know what
mm-hmm.
I mean? So I've always been into rap ever since I can remember, and as I grew older though, I started getting more into the culture of it,
mm-hmm.
Try to do graffiti, got into b-boying a little bit, was not a great dancer.
Same boat as you, yeah.
So I kind of stuck to the writing, and then after the writing, I started writing poetry.
Mm-hmm.
This is before all the the big Facebook and all the MySpace wasn't even around yet,
Yeah.
So it's I just remember going to the record shops,
mm-hmm.
and then I would just try to find singles and CDs, and they'd always have the radio version,
mm-hmm.
they'd have the explicit version, and they have the instrumental version.
Yeah.
So I would just buy these singles just to have a beat.
Oh, interesting.
Because I didn't have beats back then.
Yeah.
So then
and I guess the internet wasn't really an option for that. So
nah.
That's actually super clever.
Yeah. Well, I was probably only 14 or 15, and I didn't even own a computer back then. Not a lot of people own a computer yet, at least in my neighborhood. So it's I would get these singles, and I would go and just resell them back to them. Once I got it on tape, I'd just be hey, I want to sell these CDs. And all right, they give me half the money, but I already got the beat, so I didn't care.
Okay.
So I would just put the CD, record it on a tape deck.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do the dual tape deck type of thing.
Yep.
And then I found the old microphone, plugged it in, And then I would just, like those were my first kind of raps, back in,
okay.
I want to say 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
So
we actually have a copy of them right here. No,
that'd be dope. That'd be crazy though.
Damn, yeah. If you can find a copy of those ever, send them in. I'd love to hear what it sounds like.
Man, it's probably not good though.
Hey, that's I don't think anybody's supposed to be good in the beginning. I think that's the whole point of doing it to begin with.
Yeah,
but that's rad. I dig that.
Yeah.
Now, before we go too much farther into the story, I do have a couple foundation questions I like to check in with everybody on.
Yeah, let's go.
And you may have already answered this one, but we'll see if the caveat changes it. But this first one, it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Well, okay. Well, I said the Tupac one, but that was a gift.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really count.
Mm-hmm.
With my own money, it was Life in 1472, I believe, which I believe is a soundtrack to a movie. Mm-hmm. I've never seen the movie, but Jermaine Dupri produced it, and it had like Bone Thugs, mm-hmm. Jay-Z, The Brat, DMX, mm-hmm. Nas. It had all these artists in there, and it was like I said, I believe it's a soundtrack to a movie or something like that. But I remember hearing it in a car in my neighborhood. I asked them what the name was, and I liked the song so much, so I was like, I saved up, and then I went and that was my first album ever.
Hell yeah, that's rad.
I want to say I was in like second grade.
Damn. Well, now if you watch the movie, you got to follow back up.
Yeah.
We'll do the first like movie review episode because now
I've never seen the movie. That's what's crazy, but I love that album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got so many styles from it, like so many different.
Well, it had so many people on it.
Yeah,
I bet
was
that
like
was
a
really
compilation.
Cool, it was a really cool way to get like multiple influences all in one go.
East Coast, West Coast, down south. I had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah.
And then what was one of the first live shows you ever went to that was like specifically one you wanted to go to?
Well, the very first show I ever went to. Mm-hmm. When I was really I'm still into hip hop. Hip hop is my life basically.
Yeah.
But like, I remember, I got a job downtown Portland, like right there, 5th and Cooch by Alder. And I remember I was working at a hotel. So like, Digital Underground, mm-hmm. the Lynch Mob, Ice Cube, West Side Connection was there. And I remember I was 16 years old working at this hotel. It was probably back in like 2005, 2006. Mm-hmm. And, so I go to the room, bring the room service or whatever. And it's like all the rappers that I look up to. And they're like,
damn, that's wild.
And I'm just like, I couldn't hold it back. I was just like, man, I'm a big fan of this and that. They're like, you know what I'm saying? You want to go to the show? I'm like, I do, but I get off of work. It's like, man, I didn't technically pay for it, but they put me on the guest list.
Okay.
So that was the very first show that I really wanted to go. I almost quit my job that day because I wanted to go to the show. I'm like, I can't miss the West Side Connection, Lynch Mob.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like Digital Underground. Mm-hmm. Like I remember Money B, rest in peace, Shock G. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if I still have it, but I had the big old digital camcorders. And I'm like taking pictures with Shock G. You know what I'm saying? It was a Halloween show.
Okay.
So Money B had the Mac Dre mask on because he's from the Bay. Mm-hmm. Money B, and then Shock G was just he had just with the nose and the glasses and everything. So he was himself. Yeah. So that was my first show like at the Roseland Theater.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a cool way to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got addicted after that. Like literally like 40% of my checks went to shows.
I definitely understand that one for sure.
3 to 4 shows a month.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. You were putting in the work.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, like I said, the internet wasn't like popping like that. So like I get a check. I run down to 360 Vinyl downtown. Mm-hmm. I don't know if people know about 360 Vinyl, but it was a record store and they had all the underground stuff you could think about. Anywhere from Mac Dre, to like PSD, mm-hmm. To Mad Lib, mm-hmm. MF Doom, Victor Vaughn. Like you could find everything there. So I'd like, spend a couple $100 there or, $100 and I go to 2nd Avenue Records and pick up all the Andre Nicotinas and the Equiptos, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then like anytime they came in town, it's like, I finally get to see it in the flesh, so I gotta go to this show, after already buying all these albums, you couldn't really stream nothing back then or like, just buy one song off iTunes. You had to buy the whole album.
Yeah. Well, then like you couldn't even like watch videos of them live. So like to really understand what they were doing,
Yeah, like
you had to.
Like half of the time, it's like I don't even. Sometimes the cover wouldn't even have their picture. So I'm like, what does he even look like?
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Like hopefully, like I would have to see him on stage and like, oh, that's him. Like I think I know that's him. You know.
Yeah.
Once you hear the voice, then you know it's them. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's what I went through. Like when I first started going to shows, you know. And I've been to like, I want to say, to all the artists, would it be like boom bap, West Coast, like gangster music, experimental, like Victor Vaughn, you know what I'm saying? But like, I want to say I've probably seen like 85 to like 80% of all the rappers I've ever wanted to see.
Okay. Yeah, that's a solid number right there.
Yeah. There's like, you know what I'm saying? I seen Dead Prez, Immortal Technique. I ran into Talib Kweli downtown when I was working, gave me tickets to the show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Black Star, Mos Def, you know, Erykah Badu. Yeah, that's why I stayed working downtown, because it seems like every time those people come to town, somehow or another, I run into them or find my way at their show somehow.
Yeah, damn.
And I was just like, this is like you know, this is my culture. Like, it sounds weird. Like this is what I grew up in. Like this is all I breathe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I take hip hop like a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I don't just rap on the weekends or like play a beat. Like, nah, it's like you gotta live it, you gotta breathe it. You know what I'm saying? It's the way you dress, the way you talk, like the way, you know, the way you conduct yourself, like knowing your history as well, like where everything comes from, like. And there's a lot of MCs who had different names before you know them now. Like, do you know the original names? Like, all that type of stuff, you know, like, I'm like hella into that, you know?
I dig that. That's rad. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to getting to more of what you do in the present day now to see how you approach your own stuff.
For sure.
Before we officially get into it, do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take making your own music more seriously?
I mean, I've always I felt like I just wanted to express myself and do music. But then I realized you know, I went from like the tape decks to like a karaoke machine and this and that. And I realized one day, like, I really want people to hear what I want to say, and I really want to be a part of this. So in order for me to do that, like, I got to step it up. Like, it's got to be like at least somewhat good quality, and I gotta give the people like what they deserve, you know. So that was like a turning point for me, and I want to say that was around like 2011.
Okay.
Because that's when I actually said, like, okay, hold on, like, I'm just not like gonna, you know, I'm gonna actually invest in buying my own studio.
Yeah.
And I want to spend time like creating tracks and actually writing and like collabing with other people who I feel like fit my style, and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When just from like freestyling or writing whatever to like actually trying to compose songs, like stop being so like not afraid, but like, okay, what are people gonna think if I do this style or that? Like, I'm just gonna write whatever I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes to mind, like whatever mood I'm in. I'm not like, oh, it doesn't fit my you know, my style or my look. Like,
yeah,
I could do anything from like, you know what I'm saying, a party song, club song, like West Coast song, to like, you know, just some true life emotional, like we're going through it, you know what I mean? So that's when I like 2010, 2011 is when I was like, all right, like I'm gonna kind of get this going. It took me a few years, or I had a couple setbacks. I was kind of on pause for like 4 years, you know, like I had some, you know, some life things happening. So I was basically on pause for 4 years. But after those 4 years, it's when I feel like I just came back in 2018.
Okay.
And that's when everything started like working for me.
Gotcha. Okay. So we're a little far past that moment in time now, and you've been back in it for a little bit.
Like I got where I needed to be. I had the feeling and like the knowledge, I feel like, that I needed to take it. But, you know, life happens and it put me on pause.
Yeah.
But I use that time to like really like try to get the craft down better, you know?
Hell yeah. Well, then let's go ahead and let's get on into you in the present day. We are going to get a super easy one out of the way first, though.
Yeah.
How'd you pick the name?
Which one?
Fair enough.
Okay. So I didn't pick the name. So like, I mean, can I crack this water?
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, shout out to Portland Water, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm going to try it for my first time. We'll see what it do.
Oh, dang.
You know what I'm saying? So get you some Portland water.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, man, I'm from the old school, you know, so it's kind of like, it was kind of corny to pick your own name. Like, if you picked your own name, it's kind of like,
yeah,
like what? You know what I mean? Like, usually the homies gave you a name like for how you look, what you did, how you behaved. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, I was hanging out with some older cats when I was like, 16, 17. They're actually known kind of, local wise Portland hip hop artists, so I was hanging out with, it's a group out of Hillsborough called the Beer Nuts. I was hanging out with one of them, or two of them. Rest in peace to the Funky Diabetic. And shout out to my boy Negative, and shout out to SOB. But I didn't really know SOB back then. But it's a group out of Hillsborough from they started like that Hillsborough hip hop way back before even I did it, like in the 90s, But there was also Search Severe and Diction Uno. So Diction Uno's pretty, he's pretty known in the Portland scene, But long story short, I used to go to this house and I, kick it or whatever. And I used to just see these dudes whenever some dudes would show up and spit, and I'd be like, man, like they're dope, So one time, I finally stepped up and I was like, hey, man, like these are my lyrics. Is there any way I can get on these songs? And they're like, all right, like let's check it out. So they listen. I don't know. Maybe they just did it out of being, kindness or whatever. But they let me on a song.
Oh yeah.
So I did a song with them. I didn't have a name. They asked me, so what's the name going to be? My boy Negative. And I had just gone to a KRS concert. I used to rock with KRS a long time ago, like hardcore. I was super into like boom bap hip hop.
Oh yeah.
So KRS had something called the Temple of Hip Hop. So the Temple of Hip Hop, and I went to that show, and I just remember my homeboy when he went to the show and he was telling me like man, you always got something to say. You're always coming up with new ideas. You're like a temple of thoughts. And we just went to the Temple of Hip Hop, which was KRS's thing. So I'm like, the Temple of Thoughts. That's my name. And they're like, everyone's like, yeah. So like, I kind of did pick it, but like he suggested it.
Yeah.
So my name, it just came to Temple of Thoughts. As the years went by, it was kind of long, Temple of Thoughts.
Yeah.
So then like people just started calling me like, this is back in the Thiz days, like Mac Dre, you know what I'm saying? So people just started calling me Tizzo. So then Temple of Thoughts became short for Tizzo, or people just call me Temple. You know what I mean? And after that, I really got into like my alter ego vibes. I rock with MF Doom a lot. He got mad alter egos.
Yeah, very much so.
So and same with what's his name? Dr. Octagon. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Black Elvis. Yeah, so it's like I was rocking hardcore with that. So I was like, so when I make beats, I go by Tizzo. When I make like hip hop records, I go by Temple of Thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And then like when I make like that experimental, crazy, weird shit, I go by Creature.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of got like 3 alter egos, but it's the same guy.
Yeah, I got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I dig that.
But that way, like when you see a project, it can be catered to a certain genre.
Yeah.
And then it's just not like, they're not expecting Temple or Tizzo. It's like they got Creature.
Exactly. Yeah, they see the name, they know of what it's
what to
gonna be.
expect.
Yeah, that, and you can exist in those different planes.
Yep, exactly.
Without having to be like, oh no, I do this, but I also do this, but I also do, like, you could just be by that name in that space.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's rad. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about your writing process a little bit.
Okay.
And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. So you get inspired. You're ready to make music.
Yeah.
How do you get a track started?
Honestly, for the last, it's always been like this, but like when people invite me on songs or when I'm writing, I'll like find beats or I'll go through my beat files and I won't let a beat play more than 30 seconds. I'll just press play. And if I don't get something in the first 30 seconds, skip. And then when I find a beat, it's like my brain just starts saying something. Then I just start mumbling.
Okay.
And then I just start writing, and I don't care if it sucks or is good or whatever. I just keep going and going and going till my hand stops. And then I check it back, and I'm like, okay, that's good. No, that sucks. Like I could keep this, I could keep that.
Okay.
So then like I go and edit.
Yeah, and you kind of fill in,
and I'm like,
the
okay,
spots.
Cool, that's cool. Okay, I can make this the hook. Okay, and then I play it again, and usually by the 3rd time I play the song is done, or the beat.
Interesting.
I don't I don't listen to the beat like for days or hours. Like,
yeah,
nah, it's like I can't do it because it feels like robotic, and you know what I'm saying. But then what I like as the years go by, like even if you write it on the spot, if you just practice it 10 times in a row, when you rap it, it's gonna sound like you practice it for weeks.
Yeah.
You know what once you get to that level, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just in the studio with my boy Indo Slim. Shout out Indo Slim.
Shout out Indo Slim.
Half a Zip Records, man. I was just in the studio with him, and like so I had a 3-hour session, and we had kind of like messed with some ideas like a year ago, and then we played the beats like we didn't even remember how they went or nothing. Played it, he revised his shit, like his stuff in like 10 minutes. I didn't have a verse for it. I wrote it like in 15 minutes, and then like next song, then he played around for like 5-10 minutes. I wrote the hook, and then like boom, next song, and he wrote a hook, he wrote a verse, I wrote a verse, and they're like, cool, let's get in the car. And we went down to the studio. Shout out DJ Zone as well. We went to the studio at Slough City. And we knocked out 3 songs in 3 hours, full songs.
Damn.
And we just basically wrote them on the spot, basically. You know, we just revised them.
Yeah.
We had them practice them in over a year, and it just came out natural. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
That's kind of my process. I tell people I'm more on the spot. When people invite me on projects, it's kind of like we're going to record in 2 months. I'm like, okay, well, call me when it's a week before or 2 days before.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you want to, like, nah, I'll ride with you in the studio.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be next to you and like feed off your energy and your vibe. I don't want to have something pre-written that has nothing to do with the song, you know, or like I might be real aggressive and you're real mellow, or I might be mellow, you're aggressive. And now I have to, like, it took me this long to write it. Now it's going to take me that long to fix it. I'd rather just kind of feed off the energy. And then whatever feels right, it feels right. It might take me 4 or 6 times to do it on the mic, but it's gonna come out. I already know. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah! No, that's
my process.
That's rad. Do you are you one of the classic guys who does like pen and paper? Are you in your phone now? How do you go about like putting the words down?
Honestly, I do my phone, but I still got books at home. I probably got a stack of books that big, and I've never. I think in it, like from the pandemic, I wrote about 300 songs.
Oh damn!
So so I just keep them as my archives, and then like say like someone's like, hey, I need a verse right now, or like I really want you on something, but it's due tomorrow. Like we gotta go tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, I'll just like skim through my books, but I make sure I've never done that verse before, you know?
Yeah.
I'll skim through my books and I'll be like, okay, I got something, and then I'll just like write it on my phone, take it back, and be like, how you feel about this? So I basically got a vault of unspit verses.
Yeah.
But when I'm usually with someone in the studio or nowadays, I just do it on my phone.
Put it together real quick.
It's just easier to hold it, and then it, like, you know, when you're on the mic and you got the paper,
yeah,
all that, but it still feels good to write it on the paper.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just on the phone. You could take a screenshot, save it, or save it to your drive. And
yeah, well, even now with the iPhone, you can just like take a picture of it, hold your finger, and highlight the text in the picture, and then put it in a note.
Damn,
she's getting just
it's crazy
technology. But no, I dig that for sure. And actually, that's really cool. I knew I never remember who says things on the show because I've done over 300 interviews at this point. But somebody else kind of had a similar approach where they would write down lyrics whenever they would think of them. They would just like piece of paper or a napkin or something. And then they'd go home and they'd put it in a book. And then when they would use the line that they came up with, they would cut it out of the book. So that it wasn't there anymore. Yeah. So it's just like their way of making sure they didn't repeat it. And I just think that's a really interesting concept.
I just highlighted with a highlighter, like used.
See, that
still
makes a little more sense. Yeah, that way it's still
see
there.
it. But I've been like used like on this song. So then like I still have my lyrics, but I know like I can't spit that no more because it's already on someone's rap, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I guess now, how do you go about beat selection? Are you getting them online? Do you get them from people? Are you making your own? Like,
oh man, that's a tough question. Like, I mean, in a perfect world, I really want, like, shout out to all the producers out there, like beat makers. Like, if you want to work with me, I don't know if you ever heard of any of my stuff. Check me out, man. Tizzo too, man, on YouTube and on all streaming platforms, man. But I'm really trying to work with somebody from the ground up to build something special, you know. So until the time I find that person, I've made beats in the past. I'm not like, like I basically chop samples or chop loops and play drums a little, like just on the drum pads. It's not like professional, but it does the job.
Yeah,
I mix everything, but so I've done that in the past, and when I just really want to feel like, okay, like I want to make a song that's more mainstream, more for the masses, more radio ready or something like that, then yeah, I gotta go lease a beat or find a producer to actually buy an exclusive from.
I gotcha. I
had a producer out of California. I think he retired right now, but shout out Stony Beats. Our first album's called with my boy G.Hoe. We're part of a group called Estilo Fino, aka Fine Styles. So that you can find that album online. It's called Internationalism, and I want to say 85% of the beats on there were from a producer named Stony Beats.
Hell yeah.
Really dope. Really click with him, but then unfortunately I think he stopped making beats.
It happens after a while.
My second album, it was more like find producers, on YouTube or BeatStars. So it's like 3 beats from here, 3 beats from there, and so it's tough, man. But I'm really looking for, a solid producer who wants to just build from the ground up and like be like, my like right hand man. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's build. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know Frano from the North?
Not personally, but I think I recently started following him.
Yeah, hit him.
Sometimes, like when I be up at night, I think he be up at night.
Oh yeah, he's always up late. Also, shout out Frano. He's been on the show
for sure.
Friend of the show for sure. You should hit him up. He's super accessible on Instagram. Definitely worth checking out. But I think he makes a style of music, like the beats that he makes, I think you would really dig.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely worth reaching out.
Who you went over there. Shout out to No Life Luis.
Oh yeah, shout out to No Life Luis.
Yeah, he was just out there. And I think the homie Young Tokes was out there. So that's somebody I probably would really want to get in touch with and rock with, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what's up, man. I will be trying to make a connection, But yeah, I see him online sometimes,
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a dude to hit up.
For sure.
But now let's go ahead and let's talk about some of your music. So, I jumped online, I checked out your stuff that you've got, it seems like your primary stuff is on YouTube. And I mean, I really dig your sound. Like it's very West Coast. It's very like locked in for the like kind of like it's cool because it feels like what I grew up with a lot, which is really cool. It's definitely in like the vein of things that I definitely came from being in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
But it's tight. It's really well put together. Like it really feels like you know what you're doing.
Oh shoot! Thank you. Appreciate that.
Also, you have been in a track that I have spoken about before on this show.
Really?
Yeah, Low Ride.
Low Ride.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay. Is it with hold on. Is it with
Hustle Ramon.
Hustle Ramon. Yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah. And I think the main person is
Evan
Flow. Yeah, Evan Flow. Yeah.
Shout out to my guys, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So when Hustle was on the show, that was a track we had talked about because that was
Low Ride.
Yeah. It's a bop. I'm a big fan of that track in general.
Yeah.
Evan Flow, if you ever want to be on the show.
Yeah,
an invite anytime.
Let's make it happen, man.
Yeah. And then I did also check out some of, the main duo that you're in. Is it Estilo Fino?
It's Estilo
Fino.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it translates to Fine Styles.
Hell yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that's every, not to get off topic, but every I feel like there's stages. So it's like, it's weird to say it, but like every couple years, like I'll just be doing my thing and I run across somebody who I think is talented, or it might be a couple dudes, a group of 2-3 dudes. And like it starts with like them making a song with me, then they just keep coming over and I keep inviting them. And I'm like, bro, why does we make a group at this point? Like we got 7 songs now. So then we make a group, make a project or 2, things happen, people move, whatever. So then we call it, but then it's like that's a group that like flourished and did what we could.
Yeah.
And I've been a part of like maybe 4 or 5 of those.
Damn. At this point you could just be a collective.
Yeah. So like one of the very first groups that I recorded was back in the day, like when I first started producing, like recording people. It was called Bandits Life, and they're a really talented bunch of dudes, really talented. But this is like back in Portland days when it was, it was pretty. It's grimy now, but it was just like 2007, 8, 9, and a couple of them were street kids, so they lived in the streets and shit and stuff, So I remember like I used to go to work at that hotel where I was telling you got the tickets and all that to the concerts, and I barely got a computer, make beats, and I I go downtown and I would see these kids freestyle and they'd be asking for $1. So one day I actually listened and I'm like, man, these guys are good.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what you guys want $1 for? Like, just to get some food. So then I started bringing like hamburgers or give them a couple bucks. And there was a couple dudes who really impressed me. So I said, like, if you guys are ever on the west side, like, I just got this computer. I want to record you guys. And sure enough, like 6 months later, they ended up like making it that way.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I had like freaking 6 dudes at my house. And some of the talented dudes I ever heard. Bandits Live. Shout out to the Bandits Live, man. Rest in peace, Pork Chop. A few of them passed away. A few of them are in prison. And the others, I don't know where they're at no more. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that's what kind of got my feet wet. After that, me and one of the members from that group kind of like, we're all we got left now. So we made a new group, got some new members, and then we became No Love Inc. No Love Inc. We opened up for like Spice One, Lunico Leone, you know what I'm saying? Cocaine here in Portland. All the West Coast greats, you know what I'm saying? That was like around 2011 to 2012 or 13. And then after that, in 2017, 2018, I met my boy, the Mexican Mac, Luchi Vega, rest in peace. Me and him started clicking up. And he knew a lot of people. I knew a few people. And then I told him like we should start like a group, but it should be like Spanglish. Yeah. Like everything like kind of like the Mexican Wu-Tang. So then we made a group called The Connect, La Conecta. So that was a new group we had. We were up to 8 members. So we made that. That happened for like 3 years. And then he passed away. And then so that fizzled out. And then Estilo Fino came along, which is my new thing right now. So like I said, every couple of years I run into these talented people and I just try to like put my 2 cents somehow and like try to help any way I can to bring the music up, you know?
Hell yeah, I dig that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was checking out the most recent album you guys put out in August. And it's really good. First of all, like,
is this BBMB?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And that it just start to finish, it's a super solid track. I mean, the beat selection, first of all, super good. La Baby in particular, that just slaps. That
La Baby,
so
La
hard.
Baby, you know La Baby?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
But I mean, just your guys' delivery in general is really put together. You two have like 2 different sounding voices, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think it's cool when you get 2 people that have different approaches together as like a duo, just as a collaborative experience. Because then you're not like, wait, is this guy or that guy? Like it's nice.
We're very distinctive.
Yeah.
It's funny because my boy G.Hoe is always all like, I'm like, hey, I got a new idea or I got a new hook, and he's like, I'm like, it's gonna be about this, and then he sends me back his verse. I'm like, what? He's like, oh, you know, all I could do is gangster stuff. Like, he's just like, you know, it's him, you know? He gonna keep it gangster West Coast. He's from the Bay Area, too.
Okay, hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I kind of had a feeling.
Yeah, he's from the Bay.
Definitely got that sound for
He's like, he keep the gangster part down, and I try to be more like I try to come up with the hooks and be more melodic on the hooks. Yeah. And then I call it like hood harmonizing. Yeah. 'Cause I'm not a singer, so I just like sing a little bit and stack it until it sounds good, you know? Yeah. And then like I try to give it more like that Spanglish feel. I try to give people like 4 bars of Spanish, 4 bars of English, 4 bars, you know what I'm saying? So like to try to get like the Latinos involved, but also not forget about like the people who speak English, you know?
No, and you do it super seamlessly. Like it's just really cool that it like you can tell when it goes from one language to the other, but the flow doesn't change at all. Like your ability to just kind of weave in and out of both languages and keep it tight is really cool.
I appreciate it. Yeah, La Baby was a cool song because La Baby, shout out to my boy Abraham out there in Mexico. He just dropped a new video and it's fire too. Abraham is it's the feature on that song, but originally he brought that song to me, but it was just a verse. He's like, hey, I have this idea and this is the beat. So he rapped it for me and I'm like, okay, what's the hook? Like, is there a pre-hook? Is there a chorus? Is there a bridge? He's like, no, like, and he's straight from Mexico. He's only been living in Oregon maybe 2 or 3 years. Okay. So his English is not all the way there and stuff. He just raps in Spanish. So I told him like, hey, I think it'd be cool if we do like Spanglish. And he'd be like, what would you do? So then like, I was like, give me a day or two. So then me and G.Hoe started hanging out, and I'm like, we started coming up with the hook, like, baby, anda prendida. So I'm like, all right, cool, you know. And then I did my Spanish, my English part, and G.Hoe did his thing. And then we presented it to him, who he basically brought it to us, but said, I don't know where to go with it.
Yeah.
And then we're like, this is what we got. And if you just put your part, it'd be perfect. He loved it. We recorded it, and it's one of our most successful songs, I think.
It's a really good track.
I think our videos, I mean, it's only like at 8 or 7K or 10K, something like that, but organically, you know, so that's good for us, you know.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I don't have an episode with 1,000 views yet, so I could definitely feel that.
Yeah, so shout out to Abraham. He's out there in Mexico. He should be back soon. And yeah, man, I just met him and I knew he had something special about him. So can't wait to collab with him again, you know?
Hell yeah, it's definitely a cool track. And you have a ton of features on that album in general.
Yeah.
All names that I'm aware of, but I have not gotten to get on the show yet. So I'm excited to reach out to a few of them and see if I can.
Yeah, man, let's make it happen, man. If they're messing with me, man, like, they're good people and they'll come out and show love, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Now I'm curious to know, though, because you know, you've got a fair amount of music out there. Out of all the tracks you have available, what are some of your favorite ones to perform?
Ooh, that's a very, so I'm I guess depends on the environment, but I have this rule, and I tell the people that my features, and I tell people that I rock with, I'm like, if we do a song that's kind of more like slow motion, more serious, more storytelling, unless it's like an event that calls for that, and we're probably not gonna perform it. I tell people straight out, like, I've been doing shows for a while now. You know, like I said, I started doing shows back in the 2010s, then I took a break or whatever, you know, but like, what I notice in shows is like people want to go out to have fun, you know. It's the weekend. They just got off of work, you know, like they got a babysitter. They paid for the babysitter. They just want to have a drink and relax. They just, you know, they're there with their homegirls or they're with their boyfriend or they're meeting someone new. Like they just want to like have a like exciting, positive, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you hit it with a really heavy song, like, you know, it's kind of like, whoa, like the vibes got to be right. So when I tell people, it's like, I always try to tell my people, like, we got to do like, like up tempo party music. If that makes sense. Yeah. Obviously, if it's a hip hop event, like we're going to do storytelling, then yes, you know, but for the most part, when we perform, I try to give it all I got. We bring major energy. That's the best thing I tell my people. Like, we got to, like, if we're not sweating all the way down, like if our shirt's not wet, we didn't do our job.
Hell yeah.
Like, we got to be dripping sweat by the time we're done rapping. Whether it be 3 songs or 10 songs, like we got to leave the stage dripping wet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get up in their faces, get people to dance, hype everybody there, you know what I'm saying? So some of the best songs that we like to perform, I want to say one of my favorites is Major Players, which we just dropped the video. We shot it out there in Las Vegas. Shout out to Smoked Out Studios, Fireface Loke, and my boy Pistol. Major Players is one of the fan favorites. Another song is called Bounce, which it features Hustle Heads. Is Dami and Peso LL.
Yeah, shout out to both of them.
Super West Coast.
Yeah.
So we got Major Players, Bounce. One of our solo songs that we throw in there is called G.Hoe. It's G.Hoe. So it's like, that's just like on a like West Coast, like chola vibe. And all you see is lowriders in your head bouncing. You know what I'm saying? G.Hoe. And then we hit them with a little bit of reggaeton, a little Spanish vibe. Shout out to my boy Epix. We got a song with him called Dale, which means like give it to her. Yeah. And that song, when it comes on, all the girls they go up to the front and start dancing. You know what I'm saying? Dale is one of our favorites. And La Baby, that's our 5th song. We usually do 7 songs. La Baby's our 5th. Let's see. And we got a song called City to the Pueblo. And I think that's it. Honestly, I think that's 6. My bad. We do 6 songs. Yeah, that's our usual as of now. Yeah. As new songs come, then obviously
you work ones out. You work. Yeah,
we work some new ones in. Yeah, but so those are our go-tos because it's like slap after slap after slap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah. Especially if Lil Baby's 5th in the set, I can imagine that's a wild one.
Yeah, Yeah, they love it. They love it. And then like we just like the most successful show we've had to date as a duo, me and Estilo Fino, which is my boy G.Hoe. We opened up for the MB Riders.
Oh, hell yeah.
Out there in Gresham or Fairview, whatever.
No, I remember when they were out here.
PDX Event Center, right? That was a few months ago, you know what I'm saying? But that show was cracking. Like, I want to say there was closer to 300 or 400 people there.
Yeah. And
we got some great footage from that.
Hell yeah.
It was, you know what was crazy? I was expecting like 10 openers, a bunch of rappers. Nah, it was a homegirl Diana's artist. Shout out to Diana Chicano, U-Turn Apparel. You know what I'm saying? It was her artist, I believe. It was a female. I don't know her name, but my bad. But she sings R&B, I believe. So she went, and then we were like, I was expecting a bunch of random other rappers than us or something, and they're like, "No, you guys are up." I'm like, "All right, cool."
Okay, hell yeah.
Pack house, and we're up. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
We went up there. It was me, my boy Epix, and the guy who's on Dale, and my boy G.Hoe, and man, that was like a you know what I mean? I mean, there's only been a handful of times where I've been in front of more than 300 people.
Yeah.
And that night it was a little bit over 300 people, and it felt right. You know
what
I mean? And like everybody was dancing, everybody's having a good time. Ladies was shaking it, coming up to the stage. The DJ said, we sounded really good. When we got off stage, I probably signed like 10 autographs, took 20 pictures.
Hell yeah.
50 followers on the phone. The guy who owns the spot congratulated us personally, said he loved our set, and it just felt dope. Like that was a really good show for us.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like we fit right in. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, I love that. That's rad.
Yeah.
Now I want to take a moment and I want to talk about some new music. What do you got cooking? What can you tell us about what you have? What do you have that you're working on?
Yeah. So last night I was at the studio actually. Shout out to Blacked Out Studios, which is my boy G.Hoe studio. I make music videos, so I'm Black Lagoon Filmworks. That's my company. His studio is called Blacked Out Studios. Black Lagoon, Blacked Out. Anyways, I was just out there. We made 3 tracks. We mixing and mastering right now. We had 3 previous to that, so we're actually it's kind of a surprise. By the time this drops, it'll probably be right on time though. So we're dropping a double album, I guess. So A and B side kind of a thing. Okay. On Thanksgiving.
Actually, this will be out relatively in a few days from today. So it'll be coming out in about a month.
Oh, really?
Your stuff will be, but yeah, this episode will be out in a few days.
Yeah, well, Thanksgiving's like what, 2 weeks away or something?
Oh, I guess we're in November. Sorry, my head lives like 3 weeks.
Yeah, so on the 28th, we'll be dropping a double-sided kind of project. So it's called The Origins, and it's 6 songs of when me and him first linked up and made Estilo Fino, but we weren't Estilo Fino yet. We used to go by Potland G's. So it's 6 songs like when we first linked up, but they never made the light of day because we didn't have the distribution and all that. But they're dope. So we're gonna drop those 6 like an A side, and B side is gonna be all the brand new music we're just doing right now.
Oh hell yeah!
And all the B side, all the beats are produced by me.
Oh, okay.
So I made all the beats and I recorded everything and I'm mixing and mastering everything.
Hell yeah.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Like we'll see how it goes, but I trust myself. It'll be good, So so we'll have basically 6 originals like from when we first met and 6 songs like that we're doing right now.
Damn, that's cool. I think that for sure. That's a really cool way to do it.
And we're also dropping a video that day too.
Oh, perfect.
So Thanksgiving we'll have that double release, and then we'll have a video out. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah! People are gonna have something to turn up to. On Black Friday.
So that's for the group as far as me, Estilo Fino, and then I also have a few personal projects. I haven't dropped a personal project in years because once I get into the group situation, like I said, I'm like involved all the way. Yeah. But as far as me, Temple of Thoughts, Tizzo, you know what I'm saying? I'm dropping a EP called Late Nights in the 503, and I'm hoping to drop that New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay.
So that's gonna be about 8 to 10 songs. I'm on the final stages right now. Same thing. All of that's recorded, by me. Recorded, mixed, and mastered by me. So that's going to be Late Nights in the 503. And I'm also dropping another one called Besos de Mezcal, which means mezcal kisses. And that's going to be like on some like Latin reggaeton stuff. So that's like how I'm opening up the year. And then I got 2 more projects dropping on my birthday, which is in February.
Okay, hell yeah.
For the Pisces season, you know.
Well, definitely looking forward to all of that.
So that's I've been, it's a long time coming, but I'm trying to get it there.
No, but I mean, it's good to have plans for, the next little while versus just being like, I got something tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's always good to have something cooking.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And now I want to take a moment. I want to zoom out. I want to look at kind of music as a whole.
Yeah.
What are some of the things about music right now that's like inspiring you or that you just enjoy at the moment?
Oh man, a lot, man. Like when I was growing up, I got caught up in this like this is the real hip hop and not real hip hop, or so as I grew older, I realized like, everybody's growing up now. Like what I thought was new is old now.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be someone after us. The youngsters, like when I was a youngster one time, I had the new stuff and now someone's going to have the new stuff. So I just try to be open-minded. You know what I'm saying? Give everything a chance, not try to be like stuck in that bubble or like, oh, that's not right or this is wrong, So if it feels right, if it sounds right, it's right. You know what I'm saying? So I give everything a chance. You know what I'm saying? I like a lot of experimental stuff that I'm hearing. I could just tell when someone's kind of like, when I could play something and it stands on its own, I'm like, oh, they got something special because, you know what I'm saying? They're kind of getting away from the pack or something, you know? So I'm always on the hunt for new music that it's got like, something new to it. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely get that. I've said this on the show many times, but every day on my way to work, I pick out an album I've never heard before and I listen to it.
That's smart.
Yeah, I just,
That's really dope.
I trust in the algorithm. I kind of go based off of like, does the name sound cool? Does the album look cool? Is there enough tracks? Like, and I just no prior knowledge. I just hit play and then I start driving.
Yeah.
It's going to be good and I'm going to keep listening to it when I get to work, or it's not going to be good and I'll stop listening to it when I get to work, but I'm going to listen to it all the way through.
That's dope. That's dope. And you know what I'm saying? You're giving somebody a chance that they never even thought they'd get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really dope. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need out here, some support,
No, totally. I mean, that and with the show, I listen to so much local and new music that's coming out all the time. So I definitely dig that.
Yeah, man, I'm always in the hunt for new music, I'm really into like funky, like R&B, funky beats, like all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I love rap, like forever. I love hip hop, but I'm more like when I listen to albums, I feel like I listen to more like funk.
Yeah,
it has funk. Those big bass lines.
You know who?
Those grooves.
You know who Desi Hollow is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love Desi.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually came to Portland. He was at the event center.
He's been all over the.
He's been all over the
spot. Always going somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard of Desi Hollow about 2 years ago. And I've been following him since. I think he's really dope. Like he's got his own lane and he's real creative. And he don't miss.
No, and like his whole camp is really cool. Like how he brings his family in to be part of like the team. Like his sister does all his camera work and like music.
I didn't know that.
Like that. Yeah, like that. Like
that's dope.
He keeps it in house in more ways than one.
Yeah,
and that's just I mean, and his music is really good. But
one
of the few people that I've mentioned his name to that has said yes. So that's really cool.
Yeah, Desi Hollow's the truth. I like him.
Yeah.
I like I don't know you know that dude Buddy. B.U. like Buddy. He's from LA.
Yeah. The name sounds super.
He's kind of like real melodic, but he kind of raps like not like Desi Hollow's a different. But if you ever get a chance, check out Buddy. He's really dope.
I know as soon as I see like any of the artwork, I'm gonna know exactly who it is.
I want to say he was almost affiliated with like Aftermath, but I don't know if he got.
Okay, gotcha.
He was like up there, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah.
He's really dope too.
Hell yeah. Well, we could go back and forth on artist Rex forever, but getting back into you, before we move on to the next portion, I've got one last question to go.
Yeah.
And this next question is probably the densest question in the interview. We've talked about your experiences with music, the actions, the reactions, but when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
Man, man, it gives me everything. Music's like my best friend. Music is like, man, when I've been alone, like literally no one's next to me, Music's always been there for me. I've been in places where, like, literally, if you've ever been locked up, you can't even play music. You're just in a cell, and all you got to do is tap that wall and write and sing, and that it brings you happiness. You know what I'm saying? It keeps you company. When I'm sad, it picks me up. You know what I'm saying? It brings me joy. It fills me up, man. Like, music's everything to me. Like, I don't know what I'd do without it. Like, it's my best friend, and it's never betrayed me. You know what I'm saying? It does take a lot of my time, but it's just like everything you love is gonna take a lot of your time. You gotta nurture it, you gotta water it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like music's like my full-time job, you know what I'm saying? Whether I'm getting paid from it or not, it's just like I see myself doing music like in a wheelchair, a rocking chair, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm not gonna stop, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm trying to, like, obviously we all want to achieve something, you know what I'm saying, and get somewhere, but it's just like whether it happens or not, like I'm still, I'll be 60 and like, hey man, you got a studio session I can go to? Like, I'm gonna be like the grandpa pulling up to the studio, you know what I'm saying? Like I just need to get it off my chest, and it's just like ain't nothing like finding a fresh beat and just letting your feelings out and just like hearing your words back. And like, you know what I'm saying? Just jamming in the car, and ain't nothing like you're walking in your neighborhood or another neighborhood, and someone drives by with your song on. Yeah, like I love that feeling. Or like, I'll pull up in the store and they're like, oh, what's up? It's Temple. Like, what's going on? Like, all right, here we go. Picture. Like, you know what I'm saying? My boy tells me all the time. He's like, my boy G.Hoe, he wears a ski mask. Mm-hmm. He trying to keep, he's low profile, and I'm more like man, like this is the whole, like not the whole point, but it's like I want to be recognized for this music because this is what I love and I put so much work into, Yeah. So anytime someone recognizes me, I'm like, all right, man, like it's getting out there and it's worth it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hell yeah. And like I said, it's just like it's never let me down, and it's like whenever I need to bounce back, you know what I'm saying, it's always there for me. Hell yeah. Damn, that's a really cool way of putting it. I appreciate you. Yeah, for sure. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions. Right on. And for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well. But this first one's pretty straightforward. If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive. Mm-hmm. Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them? Man, who would I want to work with? It's like, oof. My gut tells me to go with someone that's really popping to try to make something happen. But the artist in me and like the fan and like the culture in me, it's like stick to like the underground, Honestly, I mean, like, obviously I'd always would want to work with MF Doom, but he rest in peace. Yeah. And I always want to work with Jay Dilla, rest in peace. Yeah. So, like my next options would be either Kool Keith or okay. Hell yeah. Kool Keith or Mad Lib. Yeah. Mad Lib is a producer, honestly. Mm-hmm. So I would want to work with Mad Lib. Hell yeah. Mad Lib. He's done a lot of cool beats for a lot of people. Ghostface Killer, like stuff like that. A lot of beats that people don't know about, So like people are like, who's Mad Lib? But if you know, yeah. This is very much so. That would be super rad. So Mad Lib, man, what I'm saying? Quasimodo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hell yeah. And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to? Shoot. I mean, there's probably a few. There's a lot of talks of, working together, but I guess it doesn't seem to line up. But man, it was really dope like that, that like I would want to get on something with I mean, let's see. Honestly, like, I feel like the people that I really wanted to work with, it's in the talks now, right now. Okay. So I don't know if I should to say all their names or not. Fair. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, honestly, like, I would love a hook from Tyus. Yeah. He's a singer, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you know who that is. Yeah. Amazing singer, you know what I'm saying? And RJ as well. Mm-hmm. They're like, you know what I'm saying? They're like on the singing side, but production wise, shout out to DJ Chill. And I would love, I just got 2 beats from him and he's dope. You know what I'm saying? But as far as an artist and like rapping, man, I don't know, man.
That's all good. That's all good. Well, everybody at who you think you should work with in the comments.
Yeah.
See if we can get a list going.
That'd be dope. Appreciate y'all.
And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits, and it's pretty literal in this sense. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power. It was guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show. It doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you want to perform?
I would perform at the Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico.
Hell yeah.
Big old pyramid, the big old Aztec pyramid was actually probably like before the Aztecs even were alive. It was from los Toltecas. So it's just the big Pyramid of the Sun. I think it's like the biggest pyramid in the world, base wise.
Yeah.
And that's when the sun hits it. And then
as the snake comes down. Yeah.
Go. I think that'd be hard to be at the top of that pyramid. It's flat on top. So imagine that, and like with the crowd down at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? We got the drones on top, light show, fireworks, whatever. And then that's the motherland for me, you know. So that's home base, you know.
Yeah.
So I would want to rock something like that. Like man, I ain't heard nobody ever rap at a pyramid before, you know.
No, hell yeah, that'd be rad. Yeah. All right, and then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
Like local or anybody?
Just anybody.
Man. I want to say the homie Johnny Ratchet. Rest in peace, Johnny Ratchet. Originally, I believe he's out of California. He passed away a few years ago here in Portland. Amazing producer, amazing rapper. A lot of people are going to know him. Johnny Ratchet, man. Way talented. He made beats for me. I shot a few of his videos, and every time he called me up, 5 new songs, 10 new songs, never stop. And I've always liked his music. Like, not to say like he's like, you know, like what I'm trying to say is I feel like he passed away too young.
Yeah.
And he would have had a lot of more potential, a lot more to give to the world. And since he was a friend of mine, I've always been excited to see like what else he could bring, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I could say someone famous like MF Doom and stuff, because that's my favorite rapper, you know what I'm saying? MF Doom, MC. But yeah, I'd say the homie Johnny Ratchet locally, and if it was someone big, I'd say, you know, Victor Vaughn, MF Doom.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
King Ghidorah.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. I mean, you already kind of told us this, but what can we look forward to between, let's say, now and May?
Now and May. So for sure, we got that double drop on Thanksgiving. We got The Origins, which is like the first few songs when Estilo Fino came together, and then we got 6 new songs we're working on right now. All beats produced by me, everything's recorded by me and mastered, and so that's gonna be Thanksgiving. We're also dropping a music video Thanksgiving, and New Year's Eve I'm dropping my solo project, Late Nights in the 503, and before in New Year's Eve we're also dropping another video for Estilo Fino. February 21st is my birthday. I'm dropping another project and another video, and that's all I got lined up until May. Usually we start working on a new album around March, and we usually drop Cinco de Mayo.
Gotcha.
That's kind of our thing. We always drop on Cinco de Mayo.
Hell yeah, I dig that.
Cinco de Mayo will be our 3rd annual drop. I don't know what it's going to be yet because we haven't made the songs yet. But,
yeah.
You know, from all winter, we'll work on new music, and we'll probably drop it on Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah. Well, definitely looking forward to that.
For sure.
For this next one, go and look straight at your camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Yeah, man. You can find me on Instagram at Tizzo 503, Tizzo 503. You can find me on YouTube at same Tizzo 503, Tizzo2 Tizzo TUB, and I'm gonna be up on all major platforms New Year's Eve with my solo stuff. If you want to see the group stuff, it's Estilo Fino on Spotify, all that stuff. Estilo Fino.
Oh yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Man, well, shout out, man. Shout out yourself, man. Thank you for having me out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Great interview. Y'all better stop by and show some love, man. And shout out to all the artists out there, you know, just putting in work, putting in love to this music. And don't give up, man. Follow your dreams, man. That's all you got to do, man. You know what I'm saying? God bless everybody. And y'all have a good night. Tizzo.
Hell yeah. All right, with that being said, we've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Yo.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
All right.
But in all of music, what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? It's a bit of a deep cut. It's one not a lot of people would know. But it's one you think everybody should know.
I would say Food by MF Doom. A lot of people
I was going to say, I feel like that's of his music, that is definitely a well-known one. Still a super, if for some reason you haven't heard that, please go listen to that as well.
The people I hang out with have no clue who MF Doom is.
Okay, fair enough.
It's kind of weird. Okay, let me say, I would go with Cool Keith.
Okay, yeah.
Cool Keith.
Hell yeah.
It's called Sex Style.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is definitely, I wish more people knew Cool Keith.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Cool Keith is the one, man. Yeah, man, he inspired a lot of my stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, that is a super solid rack. Hell yeah. All right, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Man, my pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
It's Tizzo.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap. This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.